I was like, I'm going to draw this. I was like, look how sad I am right now. Here, I'm ready. No, I'm just kidding. No rush.
I feel like I'm putting my shoes on and Betty is like, knows she's going out for a walk.
Oh, yeah, the way I'm
like,
acting?
Yeah, you're like,
yeah.
All right.
I feel like the pod's starting.
Yeah.
Is it? And I'm like, let's see.
You're like,
oh my God, she's sitting down. I think the pod's starting.
That's right.
What's up?
Oh, not much. Not much. What? I'm tired.
Yeah.
Tired all the time.
I don't know if we're starting. I'm really just asking what's up.
Oh, yeah. Well,
the mic happens to be in my face. If it's captured, great. If not.
Yeah, these are the kinds of really normal, smooth conversations that me and Brittany have all the time.
By the way, this goes like this. I'm like, by the way, I really actually want to know.
Yeah.
And it doesn't sound like that at all.
Yeah, you're like, I actually want to know.
For real, though.
Not just for the podcast.
Oh, good. My phone's on silent.
We're recording, right?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Oh, there we go. So you're tired?
I'm tired all the time in general.
Betty's got a cone.
Oh my God. Betty ripped her toenail out. And so I've been dealing with that. She has a cone on.
Man, that's awful. That's something I worry about all the time as a human.
I know. Yeah.
I press down, those toilet flushers that you have to put your fingers all the way in?
That's how I broke this nail.
By the way.
This is how I broke my nail because that's what my toilets are at home.
It's awful.
Yeah.
I was Dwayne's toilet's like that, and I press down, and I keep feeling my nails like bend back a little.
Yeah. It's totally
terrible.
Yeah,
imagine it just coming all the way off that way.
I know, and it's like still hanging on a little bit too. It's gruesome. It's a gruesome sight.
Yeah,
her foot looks like something from Saw. It's disgusting. And the nail is like hanging on enough that they couldn't remove it.
Yeah.
And so like she just has a cone on. And let me show you this picture.
Wait, I don't understand. I know you texted me about this, but I don't understand why they can't remove the nail. Like it feels like a nail can't do much damage.
Okay, so this is what happened. So there's the nail, which is like the hard part, and then there's the quick, which is like a part of their like paw that has like a blood supply, right?
Oh, I see.
So when I first took her to the vet, which was the day after it happened, they were like, it was like cracked really far back, like almost in her paw. So they were like, the only way to remove this is to like do some like surgery. Yeah. And they were like, we think it'll be fine. Just like keep putting antibiotics on it and stuff. And so now it's like kind of like starting to shift a little bit.
Okay.
But not enough that it like really moves at all.
Crazy.
But yeah, it's like, it's rough. And so now I have to look at her gross foot all the time and I have to put creams on it. And she has to wear a cone. And James just sent me this.
Does she like to be babied though? Or is she like, this doesn't make any sense to me?
No, well, here's the thing. When she's like hurting, she really turns it on. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm like, you poor thing. And she's like, oh, yeah, poor me.
I know.
I'm just a baby.
I am in pain.
Dude, so usually when I'm not home and James is there, she's either on my bed or on the couch. She doesn't really hang out with James.
Yeah.
James sent me this. This is her sitting right outside of his door with the cone on.
Look at me sad in my cone.
I know. Like she needs somebody to look at her to be sad about it.
Yeah.
She's like, isn't this fucked up? Just like in James like view.
That's so funny.
She like moves and she's like, just little old me.
Yeah. And she's sitting like so like straight and uncomfortably.
I know. Yeah. Like rigidly like, isn't this fucked up that I have this big cone
video you
on?
sent me was so funny where she couldn't, she just got it on and she felt like she couldn't move. She didn't understand her body anymore.
Yeah, totally. I don't like when I first put it on, like it moves with her head.
Yeah.
So I think she feels like she can't get away from it.
Yeah.
So like I put it on her and she just stood with her paws out, like rigid, standing, like wide stance, not moving for like 10 minutes.
Just moving her eyes.
Yeah. Like, and like doing this, she was like, like for 10 minutes. And then she finally like figured out she could move around.
She stayed in one spot for 10 minutes?
Yeah, it was like so 10 or 15 minutes. She was like,
man.
And I was like, I guess she'll get used to it. And then I just got back to work. Because I was like, there's nothing I can do.
Yeah.
Because you won't stop licking your fucking paw, you know? It's crazy.
When you texted me and this whole time I've been listening to this and the times I remembered it myself.
Okay.
Pretty good. I remembered it myself sometimes.
Pretty good stuff, yeah. All the times you have even thought of it.
Each time I thought of it, I thought of did you see Twin Peaks ever?
Mm-mm.
Well, I don't remember if this is the movie or if it's also in the series, but there's like a scene where I think it's the movie, Fire Walk with Me. There's a scene where they like have her corpse, Laura. She died, right? And they're like doing an autopsy or whatever. I should have said that part first instead of just saying they just had her corpse.
They just had her corpse.
They just like had her corpse. They don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, they just had it.
It's just like in the garage now with all the other stuff.
They just
like,
put it in a rocking chair and put it by the window
window
so then burglars don't try to break in. They think somebody's home.
Yeah, that's a good use.
Yeah,
good
for,
use
a corpse, big time. Get a scarecrow.
Yeah.
It's a scarecrow for burglars. It's just a corpse in your living room.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they were doing an autopsy.
They're doing an autopsy and they pull up one of her, they notice something in her nail and they pull it up.
Yeah.
And they pick out a piece of paper and it has like a letter on it or something.
That's exactly what is going on with Betty, but the letter is a medical bill from the vet.
Yeah.
So $300 because she broke her nail. So
you and Betty. So like,
I know.
Same nail?
No.
Oh,
Hers
that'd be
is on
pretty
her foot.
cute.
I know. Imagine if we broke
mother-daughter nail breaking day.
That's right. And neither of us. Mother-daughter nail breaking day. There we go. There's the title of the pod.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever wanted to say. I wanted to say it. And then after I was like, oh, man.
Oh, God. Wait, let's intro the pod so we don't forget to do it later.
Welcome to Worthless Clowns, a podcast about how stupid we all are. I'm Brittany Cardwell, Jonas Cardwell on Instagram.
And I'm Allie O'Neill. You can follow me on Instagram at It's Allie O'Neill. And subscribe to our YouTube. Follow us on, oh my God, I almost said Facebook.
Don't go to Facebook.
Don't go to Facebook. We're not on Facebook. Dude, imagine if there was a Worthless Clowns page on Facebook and all we did was like post like articles from like bad news sites that are like immigrants are coming for your jobs.
Yeah. That's the only way to use Facebook these days.
That's the only way.
Yeah.
And then there's all those like AI pictures that like old people think are real.
Yeah.
There's like a small African child who like made a motorcycle out of like plastic bottles.
Oh yeah. And every old person's social network, it's just that.
Totally. Yeah. And then like everybody's aunt is commenting on it like, God bless.
Yeah. And they're like, also happy birthday. Like doing the like personal stuff on a comment that has nothing to
totally. They're posting on that picture of the African child in all the bottles. And then they're like, Paula, I got my knee surgery.
Yeah. My mom has done that so many times. I've probably told you this before, where like she'll be like, there's some post where I posted something and then she comments, she's like, Brittany, call me back. Chase called. It's about your bank account.
I hope Chase is calling about my bank account, by the way. God,
she's done that like
funny.
3 different times and it was so funny. Like different things, but I can only think of the Chase one. We, in previous episodes, we mentioned my special taping. December 3rd. It's still going to be December 3rd, but the venue has changed. It's now at the Gutter. And it's going to be at 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock. The Gutter's in Williamsburg. It's a bowling alley, but they have a cool back room. Yeah. And
great comedy
tickets. Space. The link will be available by the time this is out. So,
yeah. Awesome. Hell yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be fun. And Josh Johnson's going to be there, friend of the pod.
That's right.
Lucas Connolly. Allie will be there.
I'll be there.
Yep.
What's up?
Come hang out. I'll buy you a drink if you buy a ticket. Well, not everybody. I'll do it.
If you buy a plane ticket to fly
a plane
there.
ticket. Yeah. I changed the rules.
Yeah. You're like, if you click the Eventbrite link, I will come to your house and hang out with you. So what's going on with you?
Well,
what are your updates? I have a few other ones, but I want you to talk first.
Let's go. I'm starting.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm just happy to see somebody. I went to the office today. I haven't spoken to anyone. It's one of those days.
Yeah. Your office is like, there's like nobody you work with in the office when you go in, right?
Yeah. I have one coworker who is in the same office, but we're not always in at the same time.
Oh, yeah. Because you can pick what days you go in. Yeah.
Yeah. And I go in a lot of Fridays, mostly because I procrastinate going in. And then I'm like, oh, I got to go in now.
Yeah. Totally.
But yeah, I was in the office, didn't talk to anybody. Came home, didn't talk to anybody, came here. So I'm a little weird right now.
Hell yeah, me too. All I've been doing is staring at my dog's foot all day.
Yeah.
I've barely talked to anybody. My whole brain is inside that dog. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's all I've been thinking about.
I do have some updates though.
Okay, lay it on me.
Well, Andrea's wedding was great.
Oh my God,
Last
yes.
weekend, Andrea Allen's wedding.
Dude, I got so trashed.
Me too.
I danced my little butt off.
But I knew I was going to, so it was worth it.
Totally,
We
yeah, when you
danced for like
prepare.
2 hours straight.
I know.
Which you guys know, I don't like to dance. I have to pretend. I have to say I'm pretending so that I feel comfortable dancing.
Dude, we showed up in
but I
Brittany.
was not pretending.
You were like, I didn't even get to practice.
Yeah.
I didn't even get to practice.
I normally practice
pretend
for
dance.
30 minutes at least in my apartment before any wedding.
God.
And I didn't get to practice pretending to dance.
Hey, you did a great job though.
I was having fun.
Nice.
I was having fun.
That's great.
Yeah.
Dude, Sam
everyone
was
looked great.
Sam was the life of the party.
Sam was
that
great.
night.
Sam Evans.
Absolutely.
Hilarious
Taking his tie
comedian.
and singing into it.
Singing into his tie. I believe in a thing called love.
Yeah. I love that song.
Yeah. Yeah. He was great. And I saw multiple videos on stories people posted. So I had that video.
Yeah,
and I was like,
yeah.
I'm glad I captured that. And then I saw a bunch of other
So many
people's
people,
videos with him singing into his tie. And I
Yeah,
was like,
different
he's
angles.
doing that for everybody.
Yeah, it was like 9/11.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
like- sorry, it's not like 9/11, but it's like 9/11 where there's so many different angles of it.
It's like positive 9/11.
Yeah, it's like really cool 9/11.
Yeah.
Like if 9/11 was cool
Different
and nobody
angles.
died.
Yeah. Like mine's like straight on. I saw another one to the side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Good stuff.
But yeah, it was fun. And other than that, I don't really have any updates except got my period this week, guys. Yeah. And you know what's great about that? You know, I was going crazy on Wednesday. And I don't want to perpetuate the stereotype that women go crazy when they have their period.
Totally.
But there is a one day probably. It's actually really just one day.
Same.
Where I get extreme anxiety.
Yeah.
And that day it lasted like 4 or 5 hours or something. But it's the middle of my day. I'm trying to work.
Yeah.
And I know it's my period because I was like, oh, it's coming up.
Yeah.
So you're going to start to feel bad.
Yeah.
I felt bloated the day before. I was like, you're going to feel bad tomorrow probably. You're going to feel like you can't do anything and you're going to talk shit to yourself.
You're talking to in your bathroom mirror, being like, you're going to have a tough day tomorrow, buddy.
I was like mentally preparing for it because it helps a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But even so, the whole day I was like, ah! And I was like, you can't focus, you piece of shit. And then I'm like, yeah, but you know it's your period, you piece of shit. It's like arguing
So it just
with
like
myself.
added to the cycle of
Yeah.
like,
It was like,
God.
you know this. We talked about this last night.
You promised you'd be cool about it.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. And it finally went away and I was like, thank God.
Dude,
and it went away before my show.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
God.
I still had kind of a weird set, but I was like more
That's better than nothing.
calm.
Yeah. It feels like maybe like 2 or 3 days I am like, I feel crazy. And just to, not to perpetuate stereotypes, but I think I've explained this before on the pod for all of our male listeners.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not that like you get mad about nothing.
No.
It's like if you're really hungry, you're more irritable. That's what it's like.
Yeah, it's like normal levels of stress and anxiety that you experience all
You
the
just
time.
feel
feel
more
like
intense.
heightened.
Yeah. If you're like
And-
hungry or tired, you kind of feel the same way. Yeah.
And then you're just like, because also I don't want, when I say crazy, I don't want people to mean I really mean crazy. I just mean you feel on edge.
Yeah.
And it's really frustrating.
And it feels uncontrollable and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, you feel like you just have to wait it out.
Yeah.
And there's no reason it's there.
Totally.
It's not like I'm like, oh, you just got to sleep.
You have
It's
to
like,
have a
well,
glass of water. Yeah.
none of that will work.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For like 2 or 3 days, I'll feel that way. And then I'll get my period and it'll just stop.
It's immediate. It's the most
Immediately.
immediate thing
Yeah.
ever. It's so crazy.
I know. I'll like get my period. I'll be like, oh, thank God.
Me too.
Now I can stop feeling
I will
like
jump
this.
up and down.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes.
God, it is fucking crazy.
It'll be one of the best days of my month once it arrives.
Mm-hmm.
Because then I'm like, you're all reset now. The next 3 weeks are going to be fine.
Totally.
Yeah.
And you don't have to feel that way unless
And then
you're
I'm in the mirror
tired
and
or
I'm
whatever.
like, this is who you are.
Yeah. Remember this.
Yeah.
Remember this.
Yeah. Not
Pretty cool.
really. That's a monthly. You guys want to know every month? I can let you know. We're going to lose so many listeners.
Okay.
Let's stop.
Yeah.
We're going to lose our 95% male listeners.
Dude, I'm sure if we were a bigger podcast, there'd be at least one person who had our like cycles in their calendar. I'm sure there are people like that out there where there's like huge like female podcasters who podcast like once a week.
Yeah,
and people are like, I got my period. And then he's like, oh, a little early this month.
That's so funny. Oh, man.
Because I don't know. There's just people who are like weird about everything.
Yeah.
But so I do have, so I have two updates. First one, this one's quick.
Mm-hmm.
So first one, hold on, I have to bring up a TikTok.
Ooh.
So I was going through our YouTube comments. So I like, you have access.
Oh, I saw that comment. I know what one you're talking about.
Okay. I don't think you know. Do you know?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know.
All right. So I went through, if you get a response in the YouTube comments, it's almost always me. Brittany has access, but you're not on it as much.
I'm not like logged in on my phone. So.
Yeah. So you're not like commenting, but you're looking.
Yeah.
So there was one person who commented, wow, this girl is, oh yeah. Okay. So you do know.
Yeah.
This girl is she's just like Uncle Laser. She's Aunt Laser.
Yeah.
And I don't know who that is.
I know because I didn't know either. And I was like,
you looked it up?
I looked it up briefly. I think I was busy, but I was like, I got to see this real quick.
Yeah. Okay.
But also when I first read it, I thought he was describing, remember that like shitty, it's like a shitty early 2000s song, Uncle Cracker? Uncle something? There's like an uncle.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
There's like a musician or a band called Uncle something, and they have a
Cracker.
What?
It was Uncle Cracker.
Uncle Cracker.
What kind of music do they play?
I don't know. It's like, I guess it's rock or something.
Maxim, do you like Uncle Cracker or you just know of them?
Here, let me play.
Oh, that's fine.
Oh, Maxim talking. We're not just yelling at him. Let me play a little bit of it real quick. Cause, Uncle Cracker. There we go. There we go. Is it called Follow Me? I guess. Is this the one? It's the first one here. Oh, yeah. You know this song? It sucks. We'll just wait till he starts.
While you're thinking you don't know why, you gotta turn around and say goodbye. All you know is that something I'll make you see. Swim through the ocean like a fish in the sea. And follow me. And
okay, you guys know it.
Okay, first of all,
so
that song rules, by the way. I don't know what the fuck you're saying. I did not know that the band name was Uncle Cracker, but boy, oh boy, do I love that song.
People did love that song. I think maybe I got sick of it. I don't think I ever liked it though.
I feel like that is a white trash first dance at a wedding song.
So here's yeah, it is. Yeah. Here's Uncle Cracker. We'll put some images on the Instagram.
Oh, Uncle Cracker's a man, not a band?
Yeah, I was pretty sure it was just
Uncle
a man.
Cracker is a man? Is it Cracker because of the racial slur? Racial slur it's not a racial slur.
It's probably a racial thing. I mean, it's Cracker with a K. I don't know if that makes a difference.
Worse.
That feels way worse.
That's worse.
Yeah. Yeah, he's wearing a big red hat. I wonder what that says.
Probably.
No, it doesn't. Actually, it says P something. I don't know. But it's a red hat. Anyway, who's this guy?
Okay, so I was like, Uncle Laser? Who
Yeah.
the fuck is Uncle Laser? And I look him up on TikTok, and then this is the first clip that comes up.
Are we sure almond milk ain't making everybody trans?
So,
Dude,
that's me, I guess.
did you watch any other clips?
I watched a few others, but also he looks like this, which I feel like if I was a dude.
That actually, I remember seeing it and being like, yeah.
If I was a dude, okay, so he's like a white guy with a fluffy like mullet, and he's blonde,
Kinda curly, yeah.
and he has like a bunch of tattoos. I feel like if I was a dude, I would be one of those guys who's like very short and like jacked. And like, I feel like I would be jacked, you know? And like,
Yeah.
then like,
you'd be jacked.
I'd have like a bunch of tattoos, and I'd really try to be overcompensating for something all the time.
Yeah.
So
I could see you as a kind of taller dude though.
really?
Not just because guys are a little taller, but I don't know.
So here's the thing.
I can see it.
Whenever I think, I'm like, what would I be
Because
like?
you feel tall to me, even though you're short.
That's true.
Like your energy is tall.
My energy is tall.
Yeah.
Also, the thing is, like, do you ever think about like what you'd be like if you were a man? And then you're like,
Yeah.
is this, if I was a man, would it be me translated into man? Or would it be like me my mind inside of a man who was born into my family.
Yeah.
Because like if I was born into my family, all the men in my family are really tall and all the women are really short. Like my brother is like 6'1".
Yeah.
And he's blonde and stuff. So I'm like, I would probably be a tall guy, right?
Yeah.
If I was born into my family.
Yeah.
But if I like not Freaky Friday, but if I like took a pill and switched into a guy, I'd be like a short little man.
Oh,
you know
I see
what
you're saying. Yeah. I actually, when you said that, I didn't realize you meant physically what you'd be like. Because I've had the thought before where I'm like, where you realize, I don't know if we talked about this before, but I realized one day I'm like, well, there's like stereotypes of women and how they are and stereotypes of men. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, I don't feel like I fit, like maybe in looks I fit something, right? Mm-hmm. But in the way I feel, I'm like, well, I don't feel like that feminine or like that masculine. And I was like, well, what I feel like mostly is more like I'm probably more like my brothers than anybody else.
Totally. Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Because we were raised the same.
Yeah.
Like the combination of our personalities and traits and the way we think are probably mostly.
And the way you were raised and whatever.
Yeah. So I'm like, well then, I mean, this is such a stupid realization, but I was like, well, I'm not any of those things. I'm just like me. And I'm probably, this doesn't make any sense now. It used to make sense.
By the way, we both got high before we started recording.
Yeah, this sounds like I got high.
I feel like if I was a dude, okay, I will say one thing.
Do you know what I mean?
I do know what you're talking about.
I'm more similar to my brothers who are men than I am to the category of women. Right?
Totally, yes.
And I'm not saying I'm trans, but I'm like, well, you're just, whatever. I actually said this to my ex one time. I said some clearer version of it whenever it first happened.
I do not believe it was clearer. I do not believe it was clearer. And yeah, that makes sense.
I think it was clearer because I had just thought of it. But yeah, he got mad.
He was like, oh, what? You think that you're a guy or something? So I'm gay?
He's like, wait, so you're saying you're just you? He's like, that's not okay. And he got all mad about like social roles.
Oh my God, of course.
Social roles. Yeah.
God.
Anyway.
Okay, I will say one thing. I think if I was a dude, I would be way more confident and charming than I already am.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the things that make
you wouldn't have that little voice holding you back.
That, and also I feel like the things that make me confident and charming can be off-putting in a woman.
Oh.
So if I was a guy and I was like this, I would be getting puss left and right, and they would all be crazy, by the way.
So would I, but for a different reason.
What's your reasoning?
Because I feel like guys who are aloof also kind of get a lot of pussy. And I can be kind of aloof and weird. And I think that is something that can be bad about me, like as a woman. But as a guy, I feel like
it seems like power.
It seems,
it seems like confidence and power.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then if you're aloof, like, I don't know, sometimes I'll like walk into a show and I'll see somebody I am an acquaintance with, right?
Yeah.
And then I won't say hi in the most like excited way. Yeah. And then I'm like, oh my God, they think I'm a bitch, but I'm really just like a little bit tired. Yeah. But if a guy does that, then they're like, what's wrong with me?
Yeah.
Oh man, so many guys are going to comment on this YouTube.
Yeah. Let's hear them. I mean, we're just talking here.
Yeah, we're just talking. We don't know anything. Stuff.
I probably only believe half of what I said.
Totally. We are just thinking about things for the first time and saying them out loud.
But the fact that I said all of it is like, well, maybe you believe that. I don't know.
Well, yeah. Yeah, sure.
It still sounds like we're high.
I know.
I promise I'm not.
I know.
I haven't gotten high in like 2 years.
I took an edible the other night.
Oh, yeah.
But, and boy, did I talk to my dog a lot.
Oh. I bet she loved it.
I
just told her little stories.
She would be like laying down sleeping, and I'd be dancing around, and I'm like, cute. And then she's probably like, what the hell? Just alone in my apartment.
She just also
5 milligrams, by the way, blasted out of my mind.
You know what?
5 milligrams of marijuana. I'm on Saturn, by the way.
That's too much for me.
5 milligrams?
Half, like 2.5.
Yeah.
Is usually the most I will do, and that's too much.
Yeah. Totally.
But I was just thinking, like, Betty it actually must be very frustrating for her and other dogs. Because every time a human talks, they're latched on. They have to be like, I'm just listening for a walk. I'm just listening for a bone. And then you're like, cute. And she's like, fuck. Like, it's
I know.
So annoying for
Betty's
her.
sitting there being like, okay,
none of those words are good at all.
Food, like, Dave. And then I'm like, I love you. And she's like, fuck.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so I have one more update where I have to play something into the. So I sent you this video of my best friend from home, Leah.
Oh my God. Yes.
So a few episodes ago, we talked about hamster deaths.
Yeah.
And she sent me a video of her talking about her cousin's hamster death.
Yeah.
And it was just really fun. I'm so proud of you exactly what, like, them feel like.
Wait, this might be a different video. I'm so sorry. I'm going to cut this out. It's a different video. And she's talking about how she sends me videos in her car after she listened to the pod.
What's up, Leah?
Hi, Leah. Thank you for listening.
Thanks for
and they're
listening.
I'm always like so fascinated because she comments on like everything in the pod and I love it. And that was her being like, yeah, so I was watching a video of a dog catching rats. And what she said was, she was like, I was watching that video of the dog catching rats and I was so happy that the dog got to do the thing that it liked doing.
Yeah.
And that's something that we said on the podcast, but she had not heard that.
Oh.
And then she went back to the podcast and listened, and I was like, I'm so glad these dogs are doing what they want to do. So anyway.
First of all, I fucking hate chimps too.
She also hates
she doesn't
chimps,
like
by
chimps.
the way. So here's the part where Leah's talking about her hamster death. Or not her cousin's hamster death.
With you, sister. Second of all, my cousin Rachel had a hamster named Road Rage after the Simpsons video game, yes. And it got out of its cage and got stuck inside. Sorry, it's just so bad. It got stuck inside an exercise bike fan. Got blended. But they couldn't find its body, so their whole workout room just smelled of dead animal.
Oh my God.
That's all I have so far.
Oh my God.
Happy Tuesday.
So
They're
that's
just
my
pushing this like putrid air out.
God, it's so
the
funny
fan.
to like also like the part of that story that I don't think was touched on enough in that video was somebody had to lose the hamster and then get on the exercise bike
Yeah.
and then like be like, what's wrong with the gears?
Hearing clunking.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's just like spraying blood out.
Yeah. Blood and like tufts of like fur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, it's so funny.
Oh man.
Hamsters like are suicidal.
Yeah.
Hamsters absolutely are suicidal.
That's a good story.
God. Should we get
Speaking
into
of, I got some rat news.
Oh, rat news.
Trying to get this segment going.
Rat news.
And because we still haven't really gotten it going, this is actually mice news.
We haven't talked about rats in weeks.
Yeah.
And Brittany texted me beforehand. She was like, I don't have anything for rat news. Do mice count? And I was like, mice count. Honestly, rat news can be about like frogs. You know what I mean?
I think rat news. Well, we'll start with rats, but I think it can also include just crazy animal stories. It can be hamsters dying.
Totally. Yeah,
Too.
yeah. Hamsters are a rat. Come
Yeah,
on.
yeah. All right. So this is small news, but as you know, I've had a mouse in my apartment.
Yes.
Right? For a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like those glue traps because I don't like to have to kill the rats. And also they know not to go there. They're like too smart.
Yeah.
And I called them a rat again. I meant mouse. Imagine if I had rats in my apartment. God, that'd be awful.
Yeah.
One time
I think,
he sounded like a rat.
like he was big.
He sounded like he was in the pipes, just like
Oh my God. In
Yeah.
the pipes.
yeah. I don't know what they're doing
Yeah, I know.
in the
There's-
walls.
We don't know what's back there.
Yeah.
But anyway, so you
Anyway, so I got these humane traps.
Oh,
This
yeah, the
Dwayne got
have-a-heart
them as
traps.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where they walk in and then it closes. And then you just like, you have to take them 2 miles away because they know how to get back.
that is crazy.
It's crazy.
Dude, if you dropped me in a random place 2 miles from my apartment, I would not be able to get back.
either. I couldn't get back.
In New York City, by the way, in New York City, 2 miles away,
Yeah.
like for me to get to Manhattan is less than 2 miles.
Yeah.
And I live in Bed-Stuy. So if you drove me 2 miles away from my apartment, I would not be able to get back.
Be in a completely different place.
Yeah, totally. I
Yeah.
could be in like Canarsie or something
Yeah,
or
yeah.
on Long Island or whatever.
So I had these traps set up for probably a month and a half.
Mm-hmm.
No mice. There's cheese in there.
Yeah.
You know.
You got to put peanut butter.
Yeah, I was gonna change to peanut butter, and then I don't know. Just
it's more fragrant. Also gooey. I feel like gooey is tracks. I don't know. Anyway,
I just never changed it. But also, Dwayne, they had a mouse, and they had the same traps, and it took them a really long time to catch, even though they had a peanut butter one and a cheese one.
Oh yeah.
So I think these mice just are too smart.
Totally.
They know, like, if there's a small thing that's different, don't approach it.
Yeah,
that's a trap.
Yeah.
Actually, I was thinking like. This would be a terrible idea. Like its function wouldn't be good, but I think it would work. What you need is a big box that doesn't feel like a weird small space.
Yeah.
But then you have to buy a huge trap that takes up your whole living room. It's
and then
just
to get one mouse.
It's just an extra living room in a box style.
Yeah, I know. It's a dog crate in your living room.
Yeah.
God.
You need a dollhouse kitchen for the mice.
Yeah, that's right.
And they'll be like, oh,
and you have to put a
familiar.
gym and a washer dryer in it. They're attracted to the amenities, you know?
It doesn't work unless you have a toaster in there.
Yeah. They're like, this place is not furnished, by the way.
So anyway, it's becoming too long. It takes months. I kind of give up on it, but they're still there. It's just old cheese in there. And I'm on my bed. I'm sick. It was the week I was sick, like 3 weeks ago. And I hear something and I'm like, oh, and then I hear like scratching and I'm like, oh my God, it's the mouse. So I caught one, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah.
But then it feels bad immediately because they get really stressed.
Totally.
They're like, oh, I'm stuck. And they start trying to like dig themselves out.
Yeah.
He's looking all around trying to figure out how to get out of this box. And I was sick and I was like, man, I can't even go 2 miles. Like, I don't feel good enough.
What if you got a, Uber package?
Yeah. If I send my mouse out 2 miles to be dropped off by the Uber. I sent him instructions for undoing the latch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, that would have been great. So I was like, I can't go that far. He might find his way back, but I got to take him. And I was leaving the next day as well.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And also, I was in there for an hour. I was like, I'm going to take him soon, but I couldn't leave immediately for some reason. So I heard him for an hour freaking out. And I was like, this feels terrible. I got to get this guy out.
Oof.
I don't want him thinking this is the rest of his life.
Yeah,
you know?
totally.
So I take him to the park, not that just as far in as I felt like I could go.
Yeah.
And I let him out and I'm like touching the opening with a chopstick thing.
So,
trying to hold it down
like
so I don't touch him and stuff. And it's not working as well as I thought it would. And he's freaking out because the door keeps opening part way, but then he can't get out. So now it feels like I'm teasing him. I'm like, look at the park. We're in the park.
Dude, accidental.
Wouldn't this be a nice place to live?
It's like psychological torture, but by accident.
Yeah. And so then I felt bad and I was like, just let me open it with the child. And then I'm like pushing it down. It finally opened enough for him to get over.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, good. But then somehow his tail got stuck in the door.
No.
It like clamped down on his tail and he screamed a bunch.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Then I got it open again and he ran off. But I felt so bad. Poor guy.
Oh my God.
I hope his tail's not all fucked up.
I'm sure he's dead, by the way.
Maybe. He had a heart attack from all that stress, just like all those hamsters.
Yeah, how do these fucking mice stay alive no matter what? And every hamster like walks into a exercise fan and
a room playing Dr. Dre too loud. That's how one of them died. That was on the list. That's crazy.
Oh God. All right, let's get into our stupid stories.
That was rat news. All right. You want to go first?
Yeah, I have a quick one.
Okay.
So
I'll try and do a quick one.
A couple of weeks ago, it was my father's birthday.
Yeah.
So I gave him a call, right? Mm-hmm. And so I call him up and I'm like, we do this thing in my family where we sing the entire, they're like, hello. And then we sing the entire happy birthday song to them over the phone.
As soon as they answer?
Yeah. So my dad's like, hello. And I'm like, happy birthday. And then I do it for like the entire song. And then at the end, he's like, oh yeah. Oh, so nice. That we all pretend to like it.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I'm like, how are you? What's up? And he's like, I'm fine. What's going on? I'm just out here for a walk. And I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, well, I saw a kid walking through my backyard. And so now I'm looking for him. So my dad saw a kid like
How old?
He said like a teenager.
Okay.
And he was like, he saw a kid. So the back of their yard, only the back, has a fence to the other side, but the other properties on each side don't have fences in between them, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So this guy would have to be walking through a bunch of people's backyards. And so my dad is like, goes out on the prowl for him. I'm sure he got a gun or whatever. Man. And he's like, yeah, I just wanted to make sure that he wasn't like hurt or something. And I was like, all right, okay, cool. And I was like,
did he look hurt?
No, I think he just wanted to yell at him. I think he wanted to show up and be, oh no, you lost your dude. I fucking hate. Okay, that always happens with Carmex.
I know. This happens all the time.
Just rub it off.
It's got lint in it now. Pretty cool.
The chapstick part of her chapstick flew out when she took she took the cap off.
There we go.
But
all done.
So I think he wanted to like find the kid and be like, what were you doing in my backyard? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like big dog him and stuff and make sure the kid knew that what he did was wrong.
He wanted to be like, that's trespassing, right?
Yeah.
Like he saw that in a movie.
I could have called the police on you, but I
was
didn't.
always so scared a parent was going to tell me I was trespassing.
No, yeah.
When I was young.
Totally.
And I keep saying trespassing.
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 Yeah. Some words that you say, you weirdly get like what's it called? Like the mid-Atlantic accent? No, transatlantic accent.
Oh, yeah.
Like they have in like old movies.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm always afraid I'm going to be trespassing. It's like, it's so weird. But anyway, so my dad's on the phone and I'm like, oh yeah, totally. Yeah, you got to make sure that kid's not hurt or whatever. And then I was like, oh, you're being the neighborhood watch. And he's like, ha, ha, ha. So he's like panting. Also, my dad has like severe asthma, by the way. Oh. So my dad has severe asthma, and I'm sure he's doing like a brisk walk all over his neighborhood looking for this kid. And so he's like, well, I can't find him. And so he starts walking back, and we're talking, and he's like wheezing. And he walks into the house and he's like, Sharon, that's my stepmom. Yeah. He's like, Sharon, Allie's on the phone. And she's like, did you find him? And he's like, no, I'm the neighborhood watch though. And I was like,
he's so proud.
I was like, Dad, you stole my joke.
Yeah. That too.
I called him this neighborhood watch.
Yeah.
And then he walks in to his wife and is like, I'm the neighborhood watch. He was just a guy saying the joke that you said funny. Louder.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro.
Watch, though,
yeah, and he's like, yeah, I'm the neighborhood watch.
So.
Anyway. Oh,
man,
and then, dude,
that's hilarious.
So the walk between him, like, stopping, looking for the kid, and then getting back into his house. Oh, also, when I was on the phone with him, he was like, I was like talking to him about something, and he like took a puff of his inhaler. So he's like, yeah. It's just I don't know why it's so funny to me that my dad has asthma, but like everything, like every time he would like play frisbee or something, he'd be like, yeah, that was a lot of fun.
I haven't seen someone do that in so long.
Yeah, and he does it like regularly.
Yeah.
And so, like as we were walking back, he was explaining that he was like, yeah, me and Sharon, we were supposed to go to this restaurant. And it's a Tuesday, and then we had planned for it. I took the day off to go to this restaurant, and then I look online, it says it's closed. So I just had a day off. Meanwhile, he's like wheezing uncontrollably. It was like so insane.
It's like, you don't have to tell that story. You can just catch your breath.
Yeah, I know. I'm like,
that's
Dad,
a story about doing nothing.
Take a knee, dude. Like fucking sit down, take a breather. I'm sure that also there's no way he went like multiple streets over.
Yeah.
By when we were on the phone, I'm like, I'm sure the neighbors 4 houses down from you will be fine if you sit on their curb and catch your breath for like a second. So
man,
that's my stupid
funny.
Your
Your dad is hilarious.
My dad is really funny.
I gotta see this guy again.
Dude, yeah.
I only have that one memory. I mean, I've just been squeezing that memory.
Dude, I've
been juicing that memory.
You should we should go to Boston again and see them and then do some shows up there.
Yeah, let's do it.
Anyway, all right, so what's your stupid story?
Oh, we got a time crunch. I have a super long story, but I'm going to do it on another pod.
Mm-hmm.
This is a story about...
all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down. Sorry.
Well, is this one too long too? I'm going to tell a really short story, actually.
Okay.
Because of the time. So, and it's pretty vague because it happened so long ago. So that'll make it really short, hopefully.
Okay. All right.
This
all right.
actually never happens.
I won't
always
ask
think it's
any
short
questions.
and then it isn't.
Oh, yeah. And then it's 20 minutes. Totally.
Yeah.
I know. I edit the podcast.
This one, though, all I remember is like, I was a teenager, right? This is when I lived on Fort Lewis. Small, just like really small military home. All the walls were chewed up because we had Trouble, the dog.
Oh, yes. Of course.
Chewing on a drywall.
Yeah.
It's just like corners
Dogs love
missing.
to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's not even relevant, but that is the home I was living in.
That's
at the
your
time.
memory of it.
Yeah. And I was like, I guess becoming a teenager. I hadn't had my period yet, though. Important.
Wow. I love hearing this. I love that you're like, I was becoming a teenager, but no period. And I'm like, okay.
Okay. All right. I was probably like 12 or maybe 13 or something.
Wait, when'd you get your period?
I think I got it when I was 14
That's
or
late.
15. I
That's
was late.
late.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got my period when I was 10. It was a disaster.
Is that true?
Yes.
10?
10.
Oh my God.
I know. I was like,
I think that's like one of the earliest I've ever heard.
I was like playing with Hot Wheels cars and then got my period.
Whoa.
How
That's
fucked
crazy.
up is that? Anyway.
Wow.
I was also smoking cigarettes off the ground at the same time. So that was
it
probably
makes sense. It makes sense.
Anyway.
Yeah, I got mine late. So this is like before that, like a year before that. But I think I was still going through all the changes, you know.
Of
and
course.
It was very emotional. And I just remember I was upset by something and I was in my room. I was crying for like an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And I had all these tissues everywhere, you know. I don't know what it was about, but I was upset, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I like, at some point, I looked up in my room and I looked all around at my tissues all over the place.
Oh, no.
And how sadness was represented all over me in my room. And I was like, I'm going to draw this. I was like, look how sad I am right now. I'm such a sad girl. Check this out. And I like made it into art, which was terrible. I'm really bad at drawing unless it's a horse.
No, but no, but that is also, I've seen the horse cape. I don't know if you're very good at drawing.
Well,
It's
that's
funny to
putting
be like-
patches onto it.
It's funny to be like, I'm really good at drawing horses. And then I saw something you made as an adult.
I'm good at drawing the
And it
most
looks
basic
like
horse you've ever
something
seen.
That looks like a kid made it.
Yeah, I'm good at drawing that horse. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, the horse that looks like
One
shit.
horse. It looks like BoJack Horseman.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'll give you that.
Well, that wasn't a drawing. That was patches of cloth.
Oh, excuse me.
I'm just saying. Also, a really bad gift.
Also, I've never seen you draw a horse. We should have you draw a horse live on the
yeah,
pod.
we should do it. Yeah. Anyway,
But
I think back to that sometimes. I'm like I was all like indulging in my sadness, you know?
yeah.
And then I was like, look how sad you are.
No.
I'm going to draw it. I'm like, look how sad you were. And then I'm comparing.
Yeah.
It's like ridiculous.
But that is so like early teenage years, like
Yeah.
a thing to do.
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh yeah, this is so deep. Like,
Yeah.
look at all these tissues
Girl's
around me.
room
They
with
represent
tissues.
sadness.
Yeah.
She's having a bad time. Like, okay, so when I was a kid, my brother was like in and out of jail and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and juvie. So we had like a social worker come to our house like once a week or something.
Yeah.
And I remember I would always like draw like emo shit. Like I draw like
Yeah.
a broken heart with a band-aid over the broken
Oh,
part.
man.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And then like the social worker found it and was like, this child, this poor child with a fucked up family life, no father,
it's a
no
tattoo
money.
idea. Calm
They
down.
were like, this is really good. The social worker.
That's like a movie scene.
I know.
That's in every movie.
He thought he was doing like the
Yeah.
white equivalent
Yeah.
of like what's that movie where fucking Hilary Swank is the teacher and she's like, poetry is also hip hop.
Oh,
you know what
yeah,
I mean?
Yeah. Mhm.
He thought he was like doing that, and he's like, wow, this is really good. Also, I am a
Man.
graphic designer, so maybe it did work.
Yeah, it worked out.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Freedom Writers. Yeah, it was the white Freedom Writers.
Yeah.
Where he's like, this drawing's like really good.
Man, that's funny.
Oh, God. All right. Should we get into our
yes,
postie?
Let's get into the post. I'm a sad girl. My ex used to, he used to like listening to sad music when he was sad. And I'm like,
I do that too.
I do it every so often, but most of the time I'm like, this isn't helpful.
No,
what am I doing?
Sometimes you really want to feel sad though. And also there's a lot of sad music that I like that I can't listen to if I'm happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I feel like you do it in a way that probably makes sense. I think my ex was doing it because he wanted people to feel, he wanted to be like, I'm just a boy who's sad and like
Nobody
that's my
understands
thing.
me.
And I'm also pretty shitty to people.
God, I can't believe people treat me this way when I treat them like shit.
Yeah. Can't they see how sad I can be?
Yeah.
Because that's also how he would react when I'd be like, hey, like, I don't like this and this is bad. He'd be like, I'm so sad now.
Yeah. He'd be like,
He'd draw the tissues in his room.
I know. I guess that I'm just an asshole and I can't do anything right.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, this is a really productive adult conversation we're having.
All right, here's the post.
Alrighty.
Oh, I pulled up the wrong one.
Oh, no.
Dang. I was like, you did so good filling the time while you pulled it up. And then I pulled up the wrong one, you piece of shit.
God, I'm going to have to edit out so much.
Brittany, we talked about how you're not going to call yourself a piece of shit.
You're like, you're not even on your period anymore. Why the fuck are you doing that,
Where'd
you piece
that
of
come
shit?
from? All right. Am I the asshole for refusing to let my boss inspect my bathroom usage?
I love this one.
This is really good. This is part of a long series of events, so I need to start at the beginning. What I do isn't really important at all. Excuse me.
Same.
Yeah. All I can say is that I have trouble with a coworker often. This person has a habit of trying to boss many of us around. Mind you, we have totally different positions and jobs, but our standing is equal and we're both bottom of the totem pole. So I refuse to take orders from them. Well, my boss, the one at the top for reasons unknown, nice, tried to protect them and has been trying to find an excuse to fire me. Man, that's shitty. Last week, my boss blamed me for a clog in the bathroom. That's all they can find to fire you is that you're taking a shit at work?
Yeah, I know. They're like,
it's a big reach.
You can shit at work. We don't have a problem with that, but the shits can't be too big.
Yeah. And they're like showing him like HR videos about shitting the toilet, you know? Like they have one specially made.
They have like pictures inside like the toilets here. They have pictures of like what an appropriate shit is and what a non-appropriate shit is.
He blamed me for a clog in the bathroom. He claims he watched cameras for 5 hours and I was the only person to use the bathroom.
There's no way that's true.
No.
5
and
hours?
Also, how can you... Yeah. And it's a total lie. He claims I must have made the clog. Made the clog? That's a weird way to put it. Well, today my stomach was obviously upset, and as I often do, I use the restroom on my break. Man, this person is justifying having to use the bathroom on the break or at all.
My stomach was upset, and on my break, I used the restroom.
Yeah.
Just like everybody should.
During the time that is
mine. You
mine.
can have diarrhea on the clock, dude.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't care what your job is. You can have diarrhea on the clock.
You have to use it.
If you're a surgeon and you have an open body in front of you and you have to have diarrhea, go to the bathroom.
Go do it. There's always time for the bathroom.
I also don't know how surgery works, so I don't know.
Yeah. He saw me enter. I was in said restroom for 10 minutes. Major Hershey squirts. Okay. So some diarrhea. And he came in. That's not going to clog, though. Hershey squirts won't clog.
It sounds liquid.
Sounds fine. You're good. He came in and stood in the restroom for about 8 minutes.
Oh, my God.
I know it was him because I peeked under the stall when I noticed he didn't even pretend to use the bathroom. He just went in and stood in the bathroom.
There like a bathroom attendant.
I peeked under the stall when I noticed who came in and did not leave. His shoes were easily recognizable to me.
His big clown shoes.
Yeah, if you're going to investigate in the bathroom while someone's pooping, you got to change your shoes.
Totally. Yeah.
And roll up.
But imagine if this was like they were all clowns and he had big clown shoes. His boss is Ronald McDonald.
Yeah. After I finished my business and turned around to flush, he approached my stall door and demanded I let him in before flushing after I was decent. Let me see that poop.
Let me see that poop. I gotta see that poop.
When I was young,
Do not flush the turds.
did this happen with you and Owen?
When you'd take a big shit, you'd call them in?
Yes.
Of course.
My brothers would be like, Birdie, Casey.
Yeah.
And we all run to the bathroom and look
Yeah.
at each other's shit.
Yeah.
But that's a family thing.
Did
It's
that
a
happen
nice
with
thing.
you, Maxim? Maxim? Oh, I think he went to the bathroom.
He's like, I can't hear all this. I gotta go.
I need to know.
That's so funny.
Anyway.
We have never been like Maxim and he hasn't been there.
Yeah, I guess
we can do whatever we want right now.
Unless he's dead back
What
there.
should we do?
Oh my God.
Should we egg the place or
Yeah,
what?
yeah, let's TP it. Let's turn off the
I wish
lights.
there was something fun we could do to prank him. He said he needs to inspect my droppings. Also, what a weird phrase to use.
Yeah, droppings is like what you call like when animals poop and you're collecting them.
Mostly for deer, I feel like.
I feel like deer is it. That's what I was thinking of as well.
Yeah. I immediately, I got so pulled into deer for a second. And I was like, Brittany, don't start talking about deer. Just finish the poop story. They're equally pulling me in. I don't know what to do.
Finish the poop story. We're on a time crunch.
I immediately flushed them and they must be from a different country because I feel like they're describing things in a way that's like weird here. Immediately flushed them and told him I would not allow because I would say it.
Maybe he I don't know. Maybe he was like the turds, them.
I get that, but I feel like people just say flushed it.
Yeah,
it doesn't really matter. I just feel like this person might be from the UK or something.
That's true.
I admittedly flushed them and told him, "Welcome back, Maxim."
We asked you a question. You weren't back there. Yeah. Well, let's ask. So me and Brittany both had experiences where when we were kids, our siblings, if they took a huge shit, would call us in to look at it. Did your family do that?
I feel like I did that with like college roommates. Like more friend thing.
He was like, I feel like I did it with college roommates. And then he said it's more of a friend thing. Anyway, let's get back into this post.
I immediately flushed them and told him I would not allow such an invasion of my privacy, called him on his obvious harassment, and said I would be going to HR. Whoa, HR is here. This is hard to explain.
I know.
He's now trying to write me up for refusing to cooperate. I asked him to show me his droppings.
Show me your turds or you're fired.
He would not cooperate.
That's crazy.
Oh my God. I would love to read these documents.
I know.
These must be so funny.
I know.
Because they're written in a serious tone.
I know, yeah.
But
it's all like legalese and shit like that. Yeah.
He's now trying to write me up. Okay. My friends and family as well as coworkers insist my behavior was wrong. How?
That is insane.
How?
That's insane.
You're taking a shit and flushing your shit? You're not letting your boss look at your poop?
Also, it's like,
you're not my brother.
If you have a bathroom that's like public or semi-public, semi-public meaning like an office or whatever, like you run the risk of getting those toilets clogged.
Yeah. They clog all the time.
That is your responsibility to deal with.
Yeah.
God. Anyway.
I can't believe they're not on his side.
I know.
Makes me look guilty.
His whole family was just like, just show him the turds.
We've all just show him your Hershey squirts, dude. They admitted they wouldn't blame him for firing me. Okay, this is not a poop-friendly family then. This is like
crazy.
Okay, my dad, who invented a toilet.
Brittany always has to drop that into every conversation.
Just in case. He is like weird about when people talk about poop and farts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The rest of the family, we don't care that much, but it always was shut down. But this is extreme.
That's crazy.
Your friends and family think you can't take a shit at the office
without showing it to your boss.
Yeah. What?
That's crazy.
This doesn't make any sense.
That's so insane.
And I'm a toilet girl.
I know.
So I'm a reminder.
Yeah. Brittany Toilet Cardwell.
Oh my God. Edit. I would like to add that this was not an April Fool's prank. Okay. I guess that came up in the comments a lot. They're like, I know what's going on here. April 1st?
Oh, my boss does that to me every April Fool's Day. Follows me into the bathroom, sits in the bathroom for 8 minutes while I shit. And then they're like, show me the turds or you're fired.
This is crazy.
Yeah, this is absolutely wild.
Yeah.
Dude, I feel like if I showed my boss my turds, I would get fired.
Yeah, me too. There'd have to be a contract first to be like, here's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Here's why. You're agreeing to this, right?
Yeah.
I'm not just showing you my turds.
Yeah, I know.
It has to, because how do you explain that?
Well, I guess this is similar to all the signs in the bathroom at the studio where they're like,
Yeah.
If it's clogged again, you're all responsible.
Yeah. Though some pump doesn't work.
Yeah, I know.
I said pump.
Pup.
Some pump doesn't work. They explain so much in those signs.
I know, yeah. Those signs.
Here are all the feminine products that we found.
Yeah. They're like, only women will be charged, by the way.